NL Series is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. We're getting ready for baseball here at Miller Park. A chilly night here in Milwaukee, but that's not going to derail any tailgaters here tonight. We're getting ready for the start of a 6-game homestand, and that begins with a 4-game series with the NL Central Division rivals, the St. Louis Cardinals, who have had great success here at Miller Park. You see the highest winning percentage, 610 for the Cardinals, best in baseball, just ahead of the Dodgers, Braves, Giants, and Cubs. So the Brewers looking to change their fortunes against their division rivals here tonight. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park, and the Brewers went out on the road for a short 3-game series, which was abbreviated to 2 with their first rainout of the season last night in Pittsburgh at PNC Park. So with that, they have changed that. They have updated it. It will be a doubleheader played at PNC Park on July 14th, and so we update the series pitching matchups. Brent Suter was scheduled to be the starter in last night's game in Pittsburgh. He will be on the mound here tonight to face Carlos Martinez. The rest of the Brewers rotation, Junior Guerra, Chase Anderson, and Yoli Chassin bumped back just one day. And Craig Counsell did confirm before the game today that Freddie Peralta will indeed make his Miller Park debut in the Tuesday series opener against the Kansas City Royals. Now, that was not the only news, as Ryan Braun left the team yesterday in Pittsburgh to go to Los Angeles to receive his 5th overall cryotherapy procedure in that right thumb, something that he's had a maintenance on going back to 2014. He is back with the team here today, and here's what Craig Counsell had to say about his availability.
He's back. He's doing fine. It went well. And I'll kind of take it easy today, hopefully, but he's available if we need him, so everything went well.
Ryan Braun not in tonight's starting lineup, but back with the team, and the Raptor returns home. Why has he been so good over his last 6 starts? Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder will break down the Raptors' success here lately, coming up here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Have a little fun with Dad. Got the glove coming into Miller Park. Welcome, everybody. Fox Sports Wisconsin. It's the Brewers and the Cardinals tonight. Carlos Martinez against Brent Suter is our pitching matchup as we make our way to opening pitch here tonight. First of a 4-game series with the St. Louis Cardinals. It's a big one tonight. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. You've already heard from Sophia Minard. And this pitching matchup changed a little bit because of what happened last night in Pittsburgh. The Brewers were rained out, postponed. They're going to make up that game in July. And so Brent Suter gets a home start instead of a road start.
Yeah, and he's starting to figure it out as a starting pitcher in the major leagues. Early this year when he was making starts, he couldn't figure out a way to get through the 5-inning, 6-inning plateau and wasn't able to get himself out of trouble. But I think he's feeling much more comfortable in his own skin out there. He's starting to throw the baseball well. He's minimizing walks. The one thing he needs to be able to do a better job of, keep the ball in the ballpark. The only real issue that he's had is giving up the long ball. He's giving up 12. That's going to be a big issue in this series. Both of these teams hit a lot of home runs, coming off probably his best start as a big leaguer, 7 innings in a win against Philly, and gave up only 1 run.
And maybe most of all knows he's going to be in the rotation just about every 5th day. Here we go, first of 4, the Brew Crew and the St. Louis Cardinals. It's coming your way next. We've got lineups and first pitch. And Kane sends one deep into left center. Christian Yelich has tied it up. Braun, who swings and launches, it's his way back, and that is your ball game. This is gonna fly. 3-run bomb. Yelich sends one deep. That's got a chance. It is gone. Homestand starts tonight. 6 games in 7 days. The Brewers and the Cardinals will get it going for game 1 of a 4-game series. 60 degrees. The roof is closed up. It is a cool summer night here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mike Matheny now in year 7. His ball club is struggling right now, just 38 and 34. They've had a ton of injuries, including losing Michael Wacha yesterday to the DL with an oblique injury. Potawatomi batting order for Matheny with Carpenter, Pham, and Martinez at the top. Ozuna, Molina, and Jerko in the middle. Bader, Munoz, and Martinez rounding out the starting 9 for the Redbirds. That's the lineup that will face Brent Suter And Suter deals the opening pitch, and it is hit in the air deep into center field. And on the first pitch of the ball game, Carpenter goes deep, and it's 1-0 St. Louis, just like that.
Yeah, Matt Carpenter's had a ton of success against Brent Suter. Second home run that Carpenter's hit against him, hitting over 360. And wasn't about to let that fastball go by. Wow. First pitch, leadoff home run for Matt Carpenter. And the Cardinals up 1-0. Let's check it out. Yeah, right down the middle of the plate, 86 miles an hour. Got to get that pitch up a little bit more than that.
Well, the Cardinals have now hit at least 1 home run in 8 consecutive games, and it didn't take them long to get one on the board here tonight as Carpenter belts number 13, and the Redbirds have an early lead tonight. Tommy Pham with a big swing and a miss, and about as fast as the homer came the strikeout on 3 pitches. Suter makes quick work of Tommy Pham.
Yeah, we mentioned that the one issue Suter's had is the home run ball. Now 13 home runs he's allowed. Coming off his best start as a Brewer. A win against the Phillies here at Miller Park. 7 innings. First time he's gone 7 innings in his career and allowed only 1 run.
Jose Martinez hitting in the 3-hole tonight for Mike Matheny. Has had some trouble with his left shoulder. Injured that shoulder on an awkward looking play at first base. Looked like he'd injured his left wrist as well. That was in that series against the Philadelphia Phillies on Wednesday. He is back in the starting lineup, but I would venture to say that much less than 100% here tonight. The Cardinals have been ravaged by injuries. They're still without Paul DeJong. DeJong did take batting practice today, so they are hopeful they can get him back in the lineup, the outstanding power hitting shortstop.
And Dexter Fowler, their high priced outfielder, just has not been able to get going. He's hitting 166. Not even in the lineup tonight.
Fowler missed the games in the last time the Cardinals were here just recently, and Fowler went off his foot. And yeah, you could see Martinez is not quite right. A wave and a miss. Immediately looks down at his wrist. And it's back-to-back strikeouts here for Brent Suter.
Well, he's most effective as Suter, and that fastball's up in the strike zone. You can see the difference in the location on that pitch than the one he threw to Carpenter for the home run.
It is the left wrist of Martinez that has been bothering him. So we'll keep an eye on the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. Coming off a series in Philadelphia. Right now the Cardinals are 4.5 back of the Brewers in the National League Central. Cubs and Brewers are all tied up in the division. And then the Cardinals are 4.5 back. The Pirates are 7 back. And then the Reds round it out. It's probably a key couple of weeks here for the St. Louis Cardinals, trying to figure out if they're going to, as Ozuna bounces to VR over on the shift, and that will retire the side. Key stretch for the Redbirds before they determine what to do at the trade deadline. A home run from Matt Carpenter. They lead 1-0. Now the Brewers coming up. Eric Thames in the leadoff spot once again for the Brewers tonight. Craig Counsell will be without the services in the starting lineup anyway of Ryan Braun. Sophia will have more on that story momentarily. Travis Shaw is in there tonight. His first start after a couple of days down with a wrist injury. So the Potawatomi batting order with Thames, Yelich, and Kane. Shaw, Aguilar, and VR in the middle, with Sogard getting the start at short. Manny Pena and Brent Suter rounding out the starting 9 against the right-hander Carlos Martinez.
Yeah, familiar foe against the Brewers. 15th start, 26th game overall. He's 6-4 with a nifty 195 earned run average against the Brewers in his career. Took a loss his last time out against the Cubs, only 5 innings, 3 runs. He did walk 6 batters in that game.
Spent about 3 weeks on the disabled list with a lat injury, kind of the back of the shoulder. He missed from May 8th to May 31st. Despite missing 23 days on the calendar, he is still second in the National League in walks allowed. He's given up 40 walks this year. Tyler Chatwood is the leader as Thames bounces to second base, and there is out number 1 for Martinez.
Now let's check out the St. Louis Cardinals defense. The most errors in all the National League. And St. Louis Cardinals, Ozuna, Pham, and Bader in the outfield. You got Matt Carpenter, Martinez on the corners. Yairo Munoz has got 9 errors at shortstop in only 39 games, and Jed Jerko at second base. And the Gold Glover Yadier Molina behind home plate.
Mike McClinsky, Tim Timmons, Rob Drake, Mike Winters, the 4-man umpiring crew. The crew chief is over at third base, Mike Winters. If we are in need of a review at some point tonight, he'll be the man to watch. Christian Yelich back in his familiar spot in the batting order, batting second. And with no Braun in the starting lineup, Lorenzo Cain hits third once again. Brewers sat through a lot of rain last night, never got the game started last night. And it rained all afternoon and all evening in Pittsburgh. A game the Brewers will have to make up in July. It'll be right before the All-Star break. It's actually going to be a 5-game series against the Pirates.
Yeah, Brewers have some games, put together now after a off day on Monday.
Yelich, a little jam shot. That's going to fall for a base hit. A single to right, and the Brewers with their first hit. Yelich is aboard for Kane.
Now the cut fastball from Carlos Martinez didn't get in far enough, and Yelich able to pull the hands in and hit it hard into right field. Some kind of swing for Christian Yelich, about as consistent as it gets.
He's had great success against Martinez. That's his 5th hit in his career in 12 at-bats. And he is aboard for Lorenzo Cain. Lately, Cain has been the regular in the 3 spot in the order, minus Braun in the lineup. Now Braun has been hitting 5th on occasion. That came close, almost got him.
Sounded like it did, didn't it?
I thought I heard a double hit.
Apparently not.
Well, maybe the way Cain's swinging the bat, he wants to stay up there and hit. Not reviewable. Yeah, it looked like it hit the mitt.
They missed him.
Lorenzo comes in with a batting average of .290. OPS at .830. Cain has driven in 25. He and Yelich have combined for 17 home runs. Yelich with 9, Cain with 8. And both of those players trending toward a career high in that category.
And it seems like, one of them's always on base, if not both of them. Got Shaw, Aguilar waiting in the wings just in case a couple of guys gets on.
One ball, one strike. Yelich at first. A threat to run. Martinez has a very good move. Jose Martinez thinks he got him. And he is calling for the Cardinals to take a look at this. Sure they would have looked at it anyway, but an emphatic request.
Yeah, you got to be careful with Carlos Martinez, you know, on the mound. Looks like he was able to get back.
Mike Schilt, the bench coach of the Cardinals.
And Martinez swings the bat well. He runs hard and fields his position well.
Mike Matheny, the manager, his first-year pitching coach this year, Mike Maddox. So no challenge. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Kane goes into right. A base hit. Hit it sharply. First and second on back-to-back singles by Yelich and Kane.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. Take a walk. We're talking about the Brewers offensively. Carlos Martinez has walked 18 batters in his last 3 starts. I mean, that is a ton of walks. 40 overall. You know, both of these teams, they rely on the home run. The Cardinals have 94 home runs. That's first in the league. Now the Brewers 91, and you know, defense for the Cardinals has been dreadful this year. 57 errors, second most in all of baseball. The Brewers have been really tight defensively. First 19 games, 21 errors for the Brewers. Last 54 games, 21 errors. So much better.
They've tightened it up defensively significantly. The Brewers were hoping that would be the case. Travis Shaw back in the starting lineup tonight. He was in there for last night's game as well. Game was postponed, so Shaw actually got an extra day of rest for that injured wrist. There's a right wrist injury for Shaw, so the bottom hand of Shaw. And had 3 days down essentially. No batting practice yesterday either. Did take batting practice in the cage. And Shaw says he's not 100% rock, but he's good enough to go tonight, and the Brewers need his bat back in the lineup.
Yeah, wrist injuries are killers for a hitter, but if you're going to have a bad wrist, that bottom hand on the bat, you know, you can get through it a lot better than the top hand. When you have a top hand, that wrist issue, it's hard to get on top and roll that wrist over. So, yeah, he's gutting it out here tonight.
Travis is having a terrific year again. Put up great numbers last year. Was the best run producer the Brewers had a season ago at 30 homers. He's got 14 already this year, 45 RBIs. But he's got some company now on the ball club as Aguilar has caught him in the home run and RBI race. It's quite the tandem in the middle of the order. Shaw a swing and a miss, and down he goes on strikes.
Man, 97. That's about what you're going to get out of Martinez when he can reach back and give you, 97 cruising speed, 93, 94, 97 up and away. And when you have a bad wrist, that hard stuff is tough to get to.
Here's Jesus Aguilar. Hit a key 2-run homer in the first inning in Pittsburgh on Tuesday night. Drove in all 3 runs in a 3-2 Brewer win. 14 homers, 45 runs batted in. And all of that, all 14 homers, all 45 RBIs coming since April 19th. Didn't hit his first homer till April 21st. His first RBI was 2 days prior to that. And so you get the idea, early in the season Aguilar wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time as they were trying to sort out a crowded outfield and a crowded first base scenario. He plays the first 3 weeks of the year without a homer and an RBI, but since April 19th, he's 3rd in the National League in ribbies. He's tied for the league lead with Nolan Arenado in home runs.
And as soon as he got his chance, I mean, he didn't waste any time. That's the key with Aguilar. He's able to keep himself sharp. Even though he didn't get a whole lot of playing time early in the year.
In the air to left center field, going back on it, Ozuna at the wall. Hey, this is going to fly! It hits the wall. In to score is Yelich. Kane is on his way. That ball is in play. And it's a 2 RBI double for Aguilar, who thought it had gone out. I thought it had gone out as well, but Ozuna badly misplays this.
And look at where he is. He's climbing the wall, and it doesn't even go that high. I mean, he's off the mark.
Wow.
Climbs the wall, thinking he's going to pull one back. I mean, I thought that was a routine fly to left when he first hit it. That ball just kept going and going, wouldn't come down until it was off the wall and left. 2 more RBIs for Aguilar. He has been incredible for this team.
Right away, the Brewers take the lead. Well, you're watching Ozuna there. From my perspective, I'm thinking that ball's halfway into the bullpen. The way he climbs the wall, and it almost hit him in the foot.
It's bad. Just bad approach by Ozuna. If he just plays it regular, he's going to be able to make the catch easily. Oh, well, we talked about bad defense for the Cardinals, and that just doesn't rear its head with errors. This is going to be a bad defensive play by Ozuna. It's going to go down as a double, but certainly one that should have been caught.
Just does not make sense on any level. That's something you might see a pitcher do in batting practice. Jonathan VR now takes a ball down and away.
Yeah,
I don't mean to knock pitchers shagging balls in BP either.
Well, it looks good when they do it.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, that's what we were talking about. You know, defense matters. And already, you know, first inning here in this series, Ozuna gives away 2 runs.
Ozuna had a misplay in Philadelphia that cost the Cardinals a game in extra innings. Phillies had a walk-off in 10 innings on Monday night as Ozuna tried to dive for a ball.
Cardinals have committed 57 errors this year. Only the Texas Rangers have committed more.
It's been an organization that has hung their hat on pitching and defense.
Right. Yeah, not this year.
Their starting pitching's been excellent, but boy, their defense has been very poor. Aguilar at second base just gives the Brewers the lead with a double. And VR with a swing and a foul back out of play makes it 2-2. Jonathan a chance to add to the lead. He's got 21 RBIs this year. He's kept that batting average above 270s at 271 coming in. Taking some pretty good swings actually against the hard throwing Martinez. Jonathan has been really good in spots like this year. 2-out RBI situations, 2 outs runners in scoring position. He's hitting .308 and an .896 OPS. That's a strong number in a tight situation.
Now, you're not talking about bleeders through the infield. I mean, driving the baseball.
2-2 the count, and a wave and a miss. Martinez strikes him out. The inning is over. Aguilar keeps it going. He got a bit of a gift from Marcell Ozuna, but he'll take it. Cardinals get one in the first. Brewers answer with 2 in the bottom of the first. 2-1 Milwaukee as we go to the second inning at Miller Park. And the Cardinals, already the third series of the year between these two teams at Miller Park this year. Third and final visit of the Redbirds here to Milwaukee.
And that's something. We're still in June. The Cardinals will not be coming back here during the regular season.
Yadier Molina will lead off. He was injured last time around. Molina back on the active roster. Missed 26 games. He's been a productive hitter for the Cardinals this year. And Suter got in on his hands. Lazy little pop up. Kane's got it. And that'll be out number 1.
Hey, let's check out the Brewers defensively here tonight. You got Thames in left. Kane, Yelich round out the outfield. You got Shaw, Aguilar in the corners. Eric Sogard gets the start at shortstop today. Jonathan Villar at second. And Manny Pena hanging the signs for Brent Suter here tonight.
Brewers have used Hernan Perez at short, Sogard at short. Arcia still in that wheel as well, but matchup preferable tonight for a left-handed batting shortstop with the hard-throwing right-hander Martinez, who has a nasty slider. So it is Sogard who gets a call at that position tonight. Jed Jerko takes a curveball high. Evens a count, a ball and a strike. Jerko at second base for St. Louis tonight. And he chases one. The old upshoot. That riding, cutting fastball from Brent Suter. He has mastered that pitch.
And the only time he gets in trouble is when he leaves it down in the zone like he did to Matt Carpenter.
2-2 to Jerko. He fouls it away.
Curveball has to be down. Fastball has to be up in the zone.
Suter is going along really well right now for the Brew Crew. Last 6 starts, 5 wins, a 3.24 ERA. Opponents hitting just .221 over the last 6 as well. Jerko got in on the hands. A fly ball into left field for Thames. 2 fly ball outs, 2 outs in the second inning.
Hey, make a plan to head out to Miller Park tomorrow evening. The Brewers take on these Cardinals and the first 20,000 fans at the ballpark. We'll get a short sleeve Brewers t-shirt courtesy of Experience Fitness. Book your seats by going to brewers.com/tickets.
By the way, you notice tonight the Brewers are wearing the Nelly patches on the right sleeve. There's a swing and a liner caught by Aguilar. The big man showing a little range and some fine positioning. A diving catch to end the inning, and it's a quick one for Suter. He retires the Cardinals in order.
lead here in the second against the Cardinals, and Ryan Braun did rejoin the Brewers back in Milwaukee today after leaving the team yesterday in Pittsburgh to travel to Los Angeles to undergo his 5th overall cryotherapy procedure on his right thumb. Now, for Braun, it's the first time he's had the procedure this season. The last time he had it was spring training of last year. Again, the 5th time he's had this, going back to 2014, but Craig Counsell says everything went well. They're hopeful that he could be available off the bench tonight. They would prefer to stay away from him, and they'll wait and see how the recovery goes if he's available for tomorrow. But he said overall things went well with Braun, so we'll continue to get an update for you on that.
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. Good report there as Sogard grounds to first for out number 1. And the Brewers did catch a break, I think, concerning Braun, with last night's game being postponed. So he has not missed a game, and you didn't have to play a man short last night. That's something that he's been doing here the last few years. He has a hot nerve in that thumb, and as he puts it, very painful when he gets jammed, and that cryotherapy injection that he has deadens that nerve and allows him to carry on without the pain.
And it works well. It's not going to cure anything, but it does dull the pain when he's either on the end of the bat or down on the handle. You know, that can be painful.
Here's Manny Pena with one away.
And it certainly affects your swing.
Pena hits that one hard in the left center. That is down. One hopper off the wall. Played well by Pham on the angled hop. But Pena is in with a double.
Well, he just turned that one around, didn't he? Fastball outer half. It's a rope out there in the center. Well, a good extension by Manny Pena, and the Brewers would love to see Manny get hot. Out away from, look at the swing. Nice balance on the swing. Good follow through. That has some backspin on it. Just carries over the head of Pham. And so the Brewers are ready with 4 hits against Carlos Martinez.
Pena has been a Cardinal killer this year, hitting .346 against St. Louis. There's a broken bat, little flare. Out number 2 as Suter's at bat is quickly resolved. And he'll have to get a new bat. He's been swinging the bat well with that thing. He hates to lose that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, that irritates him. He expects to get hits. He expects to hit it hard. That broke the convention away, if you noticed.
Just kind of imploded.
It's kind of broke. It didn't like break in half. Put a screw into that baby and you can use it again.
Not in a game, but in other ways. Top of the order, Eric Thames. Manny Pena with a 1-out double. Brewers have 4 hits, 2 doubles. Aguilar drove in a pair in the bottom of the first, covering up the Matt Carpenter leadoff home run. 2-1 Milwaukee.
Now, did you as a young kid use a wood bat ever, or just aluminum?
Never owned a wood bat.
Wow.
It was all aluminum when I started. Those green Eastons.
Yeah,
those were
the Worth bats too, like lead pipes. Really heavy.
Thames with a swing and a miss. Ball and 2 strikes. When did you make the transfer from wood to aluminum?
College. Actually, high school. High school, we had aluminum bats. We only had like 3 of them.
Yeah, they get all dented and
I mean, it kind of like
I remember
oblong,
those.
you know. You had the like highlight baskets.
The cap would pop off.
Right.
1-2 on Thames. Fouls it out of play.
Yeah, but all through Little League and Babe Ruth League back in New Jersey. American Legion was all wood.
I wouldn't mind seeing that come back. You'd have some aluminum bat makers not pleased with that notion, but I like to see wood bats throughout. 1-2 the count to Thames. Off the end of the bat, shallow. Ozuna coming in, and he'll make the catch very nonchalantly. Pulls it in, and that will retire the side. Pena's double goes for naught. Brewers lead 2-1. Continues with 3 great games coming your way tomorrow. It all kicks off. Neymar in Brazil facing off with Costa Rica at 6 a.m. on FS1. And then over on Fox, a pair of big matchups starting at 9 a.m. You can stream all of it live on Fox Sports app. Costa Rica, Sophia. You got a scouting report for us? What do they call the Costa Rican team, Sophia? The Ticos or something?
Well, it's a big match for them. I mean, I think they were really disappointed to lose that first round to Serbia. That was probably their most winnable match. And so now you're going up against Brazil, which is just like the giant. So the only thing that they can kind of hope for is that maybe Neymar isn't 100% healthy and Keylor Navas, the goalkeeper for Costa Rica, is at the top of his game. But they're hoping for a tie, I think.
Wow,
that's
pretty
a very gloomy scouting report for that game.
That's some pretty good intel, though. Goodness.
It's a fly ball by Jairo Munoz into center field. Another fly ball out for Brent Suter.
How's your team making out?
I forgot who I picked.
Spain, I think.
Spain, that's right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Once the Premier League ended and Liverpool went on and, you know, went all the way into the Champions League final, then I kind of jumped off the football wagon.
And since your team's out?
Yeah. Even though a lot of those guys on my team are playing in this, but yeah, I'm busy with my other job right now. Rob.
Yeah, right. I get it.
Martinez on the first pitch, bounces to Shaw. 2 quick outs.
And I think Sophia's going to be up at 6 a.m. watching that game.
She will be. She'll be all over it. She'll have her Costa Rican threads on. The kit, they call it, Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll have the kit on. She'll have the shin guards on and all that. And she'll be watching, and we'll get a good report tomorrow. That's why every now and then, and you might have heard there was a game that ended in a 1-1 tie, but the announcer said it, so-and-so wins 1-1, because like sometimes a tie is as good as a win. That's hard to reconcile for those of us who have grown up in this game.
Right, right.
Although there was a pretty famous tie right here in this ballpark one year in an All-Star game.
All-Star game, you're right. Changed the All-Star game forever, didn't it? Now it means something. Used to, anyway.
Matt Carpenter homered off Suter. Good to have you back, partner. Your guy Dan Plesac filled in nicely for you.
I was checking a little bit of it out. Thank Dan for allowing me to take a couple of days off. I thought it was going to be 3 games off, but it ended up being 2.
No, you didn't have to sit through a rain delay.
Right. No, I'm not complaining.
It
was nice.
He was very complimentary of you as a player. Told a lot of really good Bill Schroeder stories on the air and off the air. And the off the air ones kind of have us all looking at you a little differently today.
Better, worse? I
Just
guess it
differently.
Guess it couldn't be worse.
Somewhat embarrassed for you.
We had
a lot of number.
We had a lot of fun, me and the Sack Man, all those guys back in those days. '87 team, and I remember when Plesac, came to spring training. His first spring training, he made the ball club. He was out of 8 ball. Amazing.
He told that story, how you drove him wherever you guys went for a spring training game. Carpenter with a strikeout. Good redemption there for Brent Suter. Elevated the fastball. He got the K, and a 3-up, 3-down third. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Jesus Aguilar with a 2 RBI double in the first inning. Answered a Matt Carpenter homer in the top of the first. That's where we sit here. 2-1 Brewers, bottom third. Christian Yelich leading the way for Milwaukee. It'll be Yelich, Kane, and Shaw coming up 2, 3, and 4 tonight in Craig Counsell's batting order.
Did you see the reaction of Carlos Martinez on that little bloop fly ball from Thames? He wasn't sure that was going to be caught.
Yeah, Ozuna has had some challenges in the outfield tonight, including scaling the wall on what he thought was a fly ball going over the fence, and it hit a third of the way up the fence, almost hit him in the foot. Ended up as a 2 RBI double for Aguilar.
He can hit, though.
Well, can he ever? Ozuna's the player of the week in the National League. Right back to Martinez, and Yelich is retired. One away here in the bottom of the third. Let's check in with Sophia.
Thanks, BA. Joined now by Brewers Chief Operating Officer Rick Schlesinger. And Rick, some highlights for the weekend. We've got a free shirt for tomorrow night, and then Sunday, a big bobblehead. You guys are killing it with the bobbleheads. We've got the home run gauntlet coming up on Sunday.
The gauntlet with Ryan Braun and Orlando Arcia, you know, the famous post dugout celebration, and we'll have a big crowd. Should be close to a sellout. Some tickets available for this weekend, but they're going fast, and first place Brewers, so it's kind of fun to watch us.
And what about for tomorrow night as well with the t-shirt?
Yeah, t-shirt, we got tickets available, but again, we're gonna have great crowds all weekend.
All right, and we've got a young guest here. We've got Haley, and she's quite the gamer. She's got a broken arm, but still made it out.
She's on the DL, but she's here, and she's the fan of the game, so we're happy to have her here.
All right, thanks, Rick. BA and Rock, back over to you.
Look at Haley. See, a broken arm gets you a lot. Nice smile, got a jersey on.
Cool cast.
Brewer colors on that cast.
Yeah, all signed up.
Hope she heals up well. Kane bounces to third. That's off the glove of Carpenter, and Kane will reach. Carpenter had one stab at it. He's got a chance. He does not throw well, so that was going to be a bang play.
Yeah, big, sore shoulder. As soon as he didn't catch it cleanly, no chance to get Kane at first base. Even if he does pick it, the way he's struggled throwing the baseball, it would have been close. A play that should have been made, not made. And let's see how they score it. It's going to be an error.
Yeah, that'll be the 6th on Carpenter. And so a 1-out base runner will give Travis Shaw an at-bat with a man on, and Aguilar to follow.
Already 2 misplays defensively for the Cardinals. We're sitting here in the 3rd inning.
Carlos Martinez has been a tough customer on the Brewers too, so any advantage you can gain, you'll take it. The Brewers have gotten 2 thus far. Shaw a little bit late fouls it away.
He's had good success. He's 6-4 career against Milwaukee, but 4-4 here at Miller Park.
Carlos Martinez, a career 195 earned run average in his career against the Brewers. And only 2 pitchers in Cardinal history have had a better ERA against the Brewers with that many starts. Actually, only 2 pitchers all time. Lindy McDaniel and Andy Messersmith, pitching back in the late 60s and 70s, had better numbers against the Brewers than, and remember the first year 69, the Seattle Pilots, before they came to Milwaukee in 70. That one's in the gap, left center field. That is way back, and it'll one hop off the wall. Kane on the move, and Kane will score, and Shaw right back at it. RBI double. 3-1 Brewers.
All right, Brewers taking advantage of Cardinal miscues. The error end up scoring on the double. That's what you have to do against this Cardinal team. I mean, the starting rotation is pretty good. Take advantage of mistakes, and the Brewers have done that so far. Opposite field double for Shaw, and Lorenzo Kane all the way from first base, able to score easily. on a changeup. Changeup, outer half, waits back. You know, with a guy with a bad wrist, that's probably not a very good pitch to throw to him. I mean, that hard stuff is what gives a guy problems when he's got a hand or a wrist injury. And Shaw able to spank it into left center.
Kane comes all the way around from first. He has scored twice tonight, Lorenzo Kane. And here is Jesus Aguilar with Shaw now at second base.
And Martinez will throw just about everything at you. Travis Shaw just continues to be productive for the Brewers, just a big time run producer.
Aguilar with 47 RBIs now, that leads the team. Shaw just drove in number 46.
And this is where Aguilar really starts to go to work with 2 strikes.
Shaw continues his great success against right-handed pitching. 42 of his 46 RBIs against right-handers. Aguilar has his batting average up over 300. Monster numbers across the board for Jesus Aguilar. And the rest of the league is taking note. He's not just a power hitter. He's proven to be a batsman.
Yeah, he's been one of the best 2-strike hitters in the NL this year.
Shortens up, will go the other way, puts the ball in play, but he's strong enough. Even when he shortens up his swing, he can still hit one out. Had a 2-strike home run in Pittsburgh on Tuesday. Drove one deep into right center field in the bleachers. And a frustrated Molina is on his way out. Might be changing the signs here.
Carlos Martinez does not often shake off with Molina behind home plate, but every now and again they both have something in mind, and when there's a disagreement, it's usually Molina that wins out. Which it should be. Martinez basically plays follow the leader with Yadier Molina behind home plate.
We'll see if the Cardinals mix it up a little bit. Usually when there's an infielder involved in a conversation like that, it is to change the signs. Maybe they're thinking Shaw was peering in. Molina won't even bother putting a sign down here. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Aguilar. And a swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes.
That's pretty good pitch. 98 outside corner. Right on the edge, big time velocity.
2 gone. Shaw still at second for Jonathan VR. VR struck out in the first inning. That ended the first. He struck out with Aguilar at second. There's a good look at that Nelly patch on the sleeve of the Brewers tonight, breaking that out for this series, honoring Davey Nelson.
Yeah, good for the Brewers. Well, he's missed around here, isn't he? Good old Davey.
Brewers are going to honor him on Saturday, unveiling that area down in right field where Brewers Live pre and post game occurs is Nelly's Corner, and Davey Nelson's golf tournament coming up on Monday. Yeah, that'll be Nelly's Corner. Now, we lost 2 great ones, and they are recognized on the sleeves of the players. Davey Nelson, and the Cardinals are wearing the patch of Red Schoendienst, who passed away recently. Legendary Cardinal.
Good buddy of Bob Uecker.
One of the beauties of having a patch like that, you get the questions maybe from kids or people who might not know what the patch represents, and you get to relive the stories and remind people who these individuals were.
There wasn't a guy I knew that enjoyed being around the ballpark more than Davey Nelson.
Yeah.
He loved being around the ballpark. He loved hanging out with all the guys, and not just the Brewers, but the other other team. He had relationships that went far beyond the game of baseball. Yeah.
That skips by Molina. Over to third base goes Travis Shaw. There are 2 outs, but it does put a runner 90 feet away here in a 2-2 count on VR.
Yeah, fastball. Does it hit the dirt before it gets to the glove? I mean, pretty close to being about the same time. That could as easy be a pass ball, but it's a wild pitch.
Can't give a pass ball to Yadier Molina.
Yeah, you're right. What was I thinking?
Even on the road, it doesn't work. 2-2 to VR. Brewers have a run in. They lead 3-1. Martinez deals. Whoa, he lost the ball. Here comes Shaw, and he will score on a wild pitch.
Wow, my goodness.
It was either going to be a balk or a wild pitch. Martinez let it go, and Shaw heads up, takes home plate.
Well, he did the right thing. He threw it, but unfortunately for the Cardinals, he threw it toward the dugout. And Mike Matheny concerned that Martinez might have done something. Not sure what it was, but heads up by Travis Shaw to take off right away. Boy, not sure what happened there.
Yeah, he didn't even really finish the motion. Looked like something got in his mind just as he was unraveling there to the plate. What a mistake. VR fouls it back. The Cardinals just don't look like the Cardinals from what we know. They're just a team that is a struggling team right now, but yet they're still 4 games over 500.
Right. I mean, they're still within striking distance, just where they want to be.
Pitch number 8 coming to VR, and it is ball 4, and Martinez walks VR. 2 runs are in. The inning is extended, and Mike Maddox is on his way out.
Yeah, he wants to find out what happened on that pitch. Surprised he didn't go out right away when that happened, just to make sure that he was all right. They were concerned. Let's just check it out. Doesn't look like it's an arm thing. Maybe he caught a cleat. I'm not sure what it was, but apparently he's okay, at least to this point.
Seen that grip by Mike Maddox over the years when he was the Brewer pitching coach. Grabs that shoulder. He said he does that for a reason. Tries to feel what kind of tension that the pitcher is experiencing right now. Let him know he's with him. And Martinez back to work. So already 2 mound visits in this inning for Martinez.
Yeah, we have seen Martinez in the past when he struggled, which hasn't been all that often, but he can have an inning that just unravel for him. Don't have to come up with a big crooked number and then settle down again.
Eric Sogard with VR at first. Now that throw gets away. And VR to second base.
I'll tell you, I haven't seen anything like it. Be an E1, I think. E something. How bad is the throw?
Remember, Jose Martinez is dealing with a left shoulder injury, and he really didn't get the glove down quick enough. That wasn't that bad of a throw, was it?
No, it wasn't. No.
But it does put a runner in scoring position now for Sogard. And Sogard lifts one to right. Bader is there. And that will retire the side. It's an ugly inning for the Redbirds. The Brewers cash 2 in, and they now lead it 4-1. 2 2-run innings on the wildest wild pitch you'll see this year.
dugout as the Brewers have a 3-run lead. And hey, the MLB All-Star Game's coming up, so head to brewers.com/vote and cast a ballot filled with Brewers to ensure the crew is well represented at the Midsummer Classic this July in Washington, D.C. Plenty of worthy candidates. All-Star Game this year.
First man up against Suter is Tommy Pham. He swings at the first pitch and flies out. Pham is 0 for 2. 0 for his last 7 after he snapped a 13-game hitting streak with an 0 for yesterday.
And that dugout, it looked like it was all smiles out there for Carlos Martinez. Doesn't look like there's anything physically wrong with him. Yeah, Molina and Mike Maddox having a chat.
Jose Martinez now. Yeah, that was an inexplicable delivery by Martinez. Give Shaw a little bit of credit, though. I mean, a play like that you just don't see. And instead of freezing, wondering what happened, if it was a balk, because it did make a throw.
It startles you, right? I mean,
how far up the third base line, Rock, would you say a bad throw to the plate would have to be a slip of a ball to count as an official throw? Would you say halfway?
Yeah.
And that was pretty close.
Yeah, right.
So I'm sure Shaw's thinking that's either a balk or and he took off. He went sprinted home and he was able to score easily.
That ball was halfway between home and third. Right?
Pretty close.
I've never seen a pitch like that. That's why you come to the park, right? You never know. I mean, it's an old cliche. You never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark, but that's been true this year.
How wild was it?
It had to be something. You know, it had to be something with the foot. Maybe caught a cleat. Not sure.
We need to get a stat cast on that one. What do you got on velocity on that pitch?
Spin rate.
Martinez hits it high in the air to left. That's going to hang up for Thames. And there is out number 2, and a lot of outs in the air tonight for Suter. He's just rolling right along.
Yeah, 1 ground ball out. That's it. Make that 2 ground ball outs. My mistake. You had Ozuna grounded to VR, and then Martinez. They ground out to third. But that's his game. That's Suter. I mean, he wants to pitch up in his own.
Here is Ozuna. Last week's National League Player of the Week. He has won that award on 3 occasions in his career. Had home runs in 3 consecutive games last week.
The Cardinals have 4 hitters with 10 or more homers. Lead the league with 95 big flies this year so far.
Coming our way. 2-2 the count. Ozuna had just 1 hit in the Philadelphia series. The Cardinals lost 2 out of 3 in that series. He was 1 for 13. Suter working fast. The 2-2 on the way, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Got him to chase a chin high fastball. Brent Suter rolling now. Gave up a leadoff home run. Has not allowed a base runner since. 12 in a row.
showing appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
4-1 Brew Crew as we head to the Milwaukee half of the fourth inning. A 2-run first, a 2-run third. Jesus Aguilar driving in the 2 runs in the first inning. Brewers got an RBI double from Shaw in the third, and then another run came in on a wild pitch. So Manny Pena will lead off. He doubled with 1 out in the second inning. Pena, Suter, and then to the top of the order. A lot of pitches already for Carlos Martinez. That was his 58th offering of the game. We're only starting the fourth inning.
Well, to this point, doing a much better job of throwing strikes. Talked about, before today's start, prior 3, he walked 18 batters, including 6 his last time out. And when you consider before he went on the disabled list, he led the National League in earned run average. He hasn't been able to figure it out since coming off the DL.
Cardinals have lost all 5 of his starts since coming off the DL. Martinez is 0-2. I beg your pardon, 0-1 in that stretch. Three balls, no strikes on Pena.
I always felt that this guy has no-hitter stuff. I mean, he's just got all the pitches, the changeup, the slider, 4 different fastballs, cutter, sinker, 4-seamer.
Pena in the air to left center field. That is way back. And there she goes. Manny Pena with a home run. 5-1 Milwaukee on Pena's 5th home run of the season.
Well, he's something else against the Cardinals. My goodness. Double homer on a 3-1 pitch. And knocks it out of here, way back in left center.
That is his 10th hit, his 2nd home run of the year against the St. Louis Cardinals. He's now 10 for 27 on the year against St. Louis.
Amazing, huh? Cut it right down the middle.
Hitting at a 370 clip against the Cardinals. His overall batting average at .219 starting play today. Brent Suter now.
Watch the cutter. It doesn't do anything. Just straight right down the middle of the plate. And you can see the reaction of Martinez. He knew that was trouble.
Suter rolls 1 to second base. Jerko will make the play for the first out.
It's nice to get that kind of production out of your number 8 hitter. Well, it was a 4-seam fastball his first time up for the double. Cutter down the middle. See ya.
The Pineapple Express strikes again.
Boy, that is a nice feeling when you're able to watch one sail out of the ballpark like that. Number 5 for Manny, our Powerball home run count.
Martinez knew it as soon as it left the bat. Had that sound to it. Eric Thames now with 1 away. Back to the top of the Brewers order. Already 3rd time through the order. What is looking like a short night for Carlos Martinez. He pitched 5 innings against the Cubs his last game. Threw 98 pitches in 5 innings.
Now when you walk 6 guys, that's going to happen, right?
They gave up a season high 9 hits. Has had 3 consecutive games with 5 or more walks. It's very unusual for this pitcher, especially against Milwaukee, who we have chronicled he has dominated through the years, both as a reliever and as a starter most recently. Shift is on for Thames. 2-2 pitch is upstairs, ball 3. Thames defies the shift and bangs one through for a base hit. Eric Thames with his first hit of the night.
Yep, staying on that long enough to able to hit it hard into right. That was a slider that time on a 3-1 pitch. So Martinez is falling behind quite a bit. Slider on the outside corner, and Thames able to pull it through the infield. All set up by laying off that high fastball.
Thames has swung the bat well since coming back from the disabled list. That thumb injury kept him out for just about 7 weeks. Here is Yelich, and he takes ball one. Yelich singled and scored in the first inning, and then he bounced back to the mound in the third. Both of these teams traveling in from Pennsylvania yesterday. Cardinals played the Phillies. Brewers were rained out in Pittsburgh. The Brewers ended up splitting that series in Pittsburgh, 1 apiece. Got a gem of a game on Tuesday night, though. Their last game played, a 3-2 win. Great pitching. Just a really good game all the way around. And I know one that resonated with the ball club that you finished that one off.
Right, yeah.
When the Pirates were threatening.
Caneva with the save. Freddie Peralta outstanding.
What a lift he gave him. Peralta is the casualty in the starting rotation because of the postponement yesterday. So his spot will be skipped this time around. Everybody moves back a spot. Suter was supposed to start yesterday, and he's on the mound here tonight.
Yeah, with off days and the rain out yesterday, the Brewers have only needed 4 starters for quite some time now.
You got Guerra tomorrow. Anderson will pitch Saturday afternoon, and then Chacin will get the finale, the day game on Sunday. And Sophia reporting that Freddie Peralta will start Tuesday against the Royals. It'll be his Miller Park debut as Yelich draws the walk. Mike Maddox on his way out, and the Cardinals are running out of mound visits here.
Yeah, they're racing through them. Hey, take the action wherever you go with MLB.TV Premium. Accessible on over 400 different devices, MLB.TV Premium offers HD streams of all out-of-market games. Plus, you get a free MLB At-Bat Premium subscription when you sign up.
Were you watching us on the At-Bat app in Pittsburgh? Because Plesac had a read. I don't know if he had scouts on you or what, but he had a read that you were in the middle of a lake and you're in a canoe with a broken oar, a broken paddle, and you were kind of going around in circles.
No, that's me up here normally every night.
And you had a sunburn. And you had no cell service. Is that about how it was going for you?
Yeah, that's probably pretty much how it was going.
Hit a very elaborate story.
No, we the off day went to Phoenix, did some things, some housekeeping back at the house, and I feel energized, you know.
Nice. Were you able to swing over and get a look at the new sod that they put down at the new Maryvale Spring Training Complex?
I did not see it on the ground, but we flew over it.
Oh. Did you notice the new sod when you flew over?
I did not. No.
That would have been a great picture, Rock. There's a base hit by Kane. That is going to bring a run in. Thames on his way. Kane with an RBI single. And it is 6-1 Milwaukee.
Yep, already a season high in hits allowed for Carlos Martinez. And the Brewers are swinging the bats well tonight. That 2-seam fastball stayed up in the zone, and well, Lorenzo Cain just shoots one by Martinez at first. Up, and Thames able to come around to score. Putting some good swings on the baseball tonight.
Lorenzo Cain has 2 hits. He scored twice. He drives in a run. His 26th of the year. It is 1st and 3rd with 1 out. And Travis Shaw at the plate. By the way, a group of nurses from Children's Hospital Cardiac Unit, some of the nurses that worked and cared for Travis Shaw's daughter, are here at the ballpark tonight.
Nice.
And they wanted to send their best to Travis Shaw, and Shaw certainly returns that favor as well. They are here at the ballpark enjoying this one. You talk about doing heroes work.
Yeah.
All the doctors and nurses from the Children's Hospital Cardiac Ice Unit.
Yeah, part of the Shaw family now, all of them. They become very close.
1 strike. Shaw rips one foul. A bullet into the seats. 1 2 strikes.
Still no activity in that Cardinals bullpen. Just now there's some stirring around out there.
Brett Cecil is getting loose. Shaw could maybe deliver a knockout punch. We got a lot of baseball to be played, but it's 6-1 right now. And the 1-2 to Shaw is launched foul. 1-2 the count. I asked Travis about his daughter Ryan the other day. He said everything's going great. She's doing great. She is a warrior, and she's come through. Now they're just waiting on her to get strong enough. There will be another surgery down the road, but she's responded well, and amazing story there. Baby Shaw last year. It was incredible to follow.
Yeah. And it's amazing how Travis was able to separate the two, you know, the home, the ballpark, and put together such a good year under such duress.
I give a lot of credit to Mrs. Shaw for holding down the fort. Travis was playing for the Brewers. They have a great family. Travis's dad, Jeff, former big league closer, all-star. We've seen a lot of them here at the ballpark as well. A lot of extended family coming around, and Travis spent his offseason here in Milwaukee, wanting to stay close to the baby's doctors and whatnot, and going through his workout. Said he came into this season as strong as he's ever been, working with Josh Seligman, the strength coach, all offseason. Shaw gets the timeout call. Martinez,
You just
with a
sense,
reaction.
you know, horrible frustration with Carlos Martinez just by his body language. Noticeably upset about this call of timeout.
It's a little dramatic. But it gives you an idea of what he's got going on upstairs.
Yeah, just a lot of frustration going on since coming off the disabled list. His earned run average before this game, 7. Oh, that'll do it.
2-2 the count. Kane goes. Shaw takes. Molina's throw is late, and Kane is in there with a stolen base. And now it's 2nd and 3rd with 1 out.
Yep, eliminates the double play. Cardinals catching has had a difficult time throwing out base runners this year.
Kane now has 16 steals, good enough for 4th in the league.
And the Brewers are successful in their last 9. So picking their spots and been successful.
3-2 to Travis Shaw. Golden opportunity to add on. Infield is in. Only 1 out in the Brewer 4th. "86 pitches for Martinez. We're only in the 4th inning. Jesus Aguilar due next. He drove in a pair in the 1st. Kane and Yelich aboard. Payoff pitch to Travis Shaw. And a high fly ball to right. Backing up is Bader. Will make the catch. Both runners tag. And Yelich will score. Sac fly and an RBI for Travis Shaw. His 2nd RBI of the night. It is 7-1 Milwaukee.
And he just missed that one. You know, fastball from Carlos Martinez that he just missed the barrel. That 96 got in on his hands just a little bit, but able to hit it deep enough and right. Driving another run. And Travis with 2 RBIs tonight.
Shaw with 47 ribbies now on the year, tied with Aguilar, who drove in 2 in the first. And Jesus is up there with 2 outs, and Kane at third now. Got to figure this is Martinez's last inning. Got Cecil ready in the bullpen. He might try to squeeze one more out of him if he retires Aguilar, but he's getting to the end here as Cecil's been throwing for the last 2 hitters.
And you got VR the switch hitter, then Sogard coming up, which is probably why the left-hander's getting loose.
7-1 Brewers. A 3-run fourth. Aguilar looking for more. 2-2 the count. And Aguilar hits that one into right center field. Bader is on the run. He's got it for the out, and the inning is over, but the Brewers cash in. 3-run score, and it started with a Manny Pena homer. Manny Pineapple delivers his 5th long ball of the year. RBIs from Kane and Shaw, and it's 7-1 Brew Crew.
Early and often. They have a 7-1 lead as we head to the 5th here at Miller Park. And we all recognize the heroes on the field, but this season the Brewers and Meyer want to honor the heroes that make a difference in our community. Each month, one outstanding local individual will be recognized on the field and will throw out the ceremonial first pitch. So if you'd like to nominate someone, please visit brewers.com/community.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the 5th inning now, and the Brewers lead 7-1 over St. Louis. First of a 4-game series with the Cardinals. Christian Yelich will move to center field. Kane is out of the game, and Santana goes to right. Not sure if Kane tweaked something around the bases or if Craig Counsell is using a 7-1 lead to get him off his feet, but those are the changes defensively. Yelich will handle center field, which is where he played all of last year with the Marlins. Suter back to work.
I don't think this is taking him out because he's got the big lead, because the guys had yesterday off.
Right.
So he must have done something.
See if we can pick something up. Sophia's down there as well. She'll give you a report as soon as it becomes available. 5th inning, 7-1. Suter working on a 1-hitter. That one hit was a home run by Carpenter, which led off the game.
First pitch.
Kane has not retreated to the clubhouse. That's a good sign. Let's see if we can pick it up here. This was the Travis Shaw double. Kane scoring from first base on that double. And as Suter comes in and hits Molina. Didn't see anything much on Kane's dash to the plate. We'll get an update. Oh, here's the end of it. Maybe we can. Yeah, he's kind of grabbing at his hamstring a little bit. All right, well, that would be a good indication of something's up.
Yeah.
Good work by the truck.
Don't give up on a shot, right?
Pretty safe assumption. Legs are tightening up a little bit. Jed Jerko with a runner at first. That hit by pitch snapped a run of 12 straight batters retired by Brent Suter after that leadoff home run.
He was in that dugout an awful long time. That was a long half inning for the Brew Crew, and sometimes it takes, you know, a few pitches or maybe a batter to get back into sync out there.
Suter has 4 strikeouts, has not walked a batter. He's only given up the homer and the hit by pitch. Looking for the double play ball here as Jerko rips one foul. Yikes.
Well, when he gets that fastball down in the zone, I mean, guys get really good swings on it. And he gets it around the belt or above. I mean, he's in pretty good shape. We've been talking about that, you know, even last year that was the case. Elevate the fastball, you're in good shape. Who would ever thought you'd say that?
From a guy who has some of the slowest velocity fastballs in the big leagues. That was a changeup, a bouncer to third, fire across the diamond. Travis Shaw gets his man. Jerko retired. Molina to second base, but one man gone. Time now for the Lowe's whole team together. Brewers starting pitching coming into tonight. Last 8 games, 2.20 ERA. And the innings per start is impressive on average, averaging over 61 innings per start. And you love the 6 quality starts among the 8. Brewers starting rotation earned run average has dropped down to 3.97, which is good enough for 7th best in the National League. And you're talking about a staff pitching in one of the more hitter-friendly ballparks in the big leagues.
Yeah, they've been terrific. I mean, the starting pitching, you know, early in the season, you know, April was kind of hit or miss, but boy, I tell you, since around the beginning of May, these guys are starting to put together some good starts, keeping the opposition off the board, pitching a little bit deeper into games. I mean, deep, we're talking 6, 7 maybe innings. You go 6 innings these days, that's considered pretty good.
Right off the end of the bat, a pop-up by Bader. Aguilar is there. And there is the second out.
Kind of the way the game has changed. One of the many ways the game has changed. Remember we had that discussion with Jack Morris in Minnesota? He said if I gave up 3 runs in 6 innings, I got taken out of the game, I was kicking myself the whole way home. Nowadays, a little different. Of course, they didn't have 8 guys in the bullpen back in Jack Morris's day.
I do like what Jack Morris had to say, though. Talking about the incentives were different. You know, the incentive for Jack Morris back then was to finish games. That was the reward. You were expected to finish games, and he doesn't blame the young pitchers.
No.
It's the grown-ups that have set these standards, right?
That's right.
That have set the parameters and a lot of the numbers that are in play.
He said it was Sparky Lyle when he was with the Tigers. I should say Sparky Anderson when he's with the Tigers. He said when it's your day to pitch, don't look at the bullpen. It's your game. Don't look at me. I don't care how many runs you're giving up. You're my guy to give the bullpen a day off.
Well, the idea We had a long chat with Jack Morris when we were in Minnesota. It's a fascinating discussion. But, you know, the idea back then is that Jack Morris in the 9th inning was still the best pitcher available.
Right.
And that's really not the case anymore, because all of these power relievers, so those starters in their fatigue, as Munoz sends one down the line, that's going to bring in a run. Jairo Munoz into second base with an RBI double. And it's 7-2 now. Munoz with a 2-out hit and an RBI coming out of the 8th spot in the batting order.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat, able to tuck one inside that first base line. And Munoz in the number 8 spot in the batting order, able to drive in a run. Actually was behind that pitch, got it down on the handle just a little. And with Aguilar playing off the line, yeah, an easy double down in the right field corner.
Dexter Fowler will pinch hit for the Cardinals. That's going to be the end of the night for Martinez.
And those of you who don't know who Jack Morris is, he's a pitcher who's going into the Hall of Fame this year.
That's right. After a long wait. We wish him the best. I know he's been working on that speech, and that'll be fun to watch. End of the night for Martinez. 4 innings, 7 runs, 5 earned. Big swing by Fowler. It's 1-2.
Hard to believe Dexter Fowler hitting 166.
Yeah, the on-base percentage at 273 for a guy they were hoping to be their leadoff man when they signed him. Second year now with St. Louis. It has not worked. Two-two the count. Runner at second. Suter trying to get through this 5th with just 1 run in. Slow roll to third. Shaw's got to hurry this one over, and it's a good throw, and that will do it. 5-3 put out. Fowler is retired. Suter gives up a run, but it's 7-2. The bottom of the 5th inning. Been a long night for Mike Matheny and Rock. Our Toyota game reset. The Cardinals have made a mess of it defensively here tonight.
And it's not just the errors, it's the misplays, the plays that should have been made that were not. It seems like the Brewers have been taking advantage of every single mistake that the Cardinals have made, including a wild pitch, if that's what you want to call it. The Brewers with 2 unearned runs today. 7 runs, 7-2, and we talked about it when we came on the air. Our Pizza Ranch defense matters. It's been pretty bad for the Cardinals this year.
Worst defensive team in the National League. So Martinez is out, 4 innings for him. He'll give way to Brett Cecil, who was brought to St. Louis to be a high leverage left-hander. And he's going to enter this game in the 5th inning in a 7-2 Brewer lead. That'll flip VR around to hit right-handed against the left-hander Cecil.
I mean, he hasn't been out there all that much. He was on a disabled list this year. Activated on May 12th. It's only his 6th appearance on the mound in the month of June. So time on the mound has been few and far between for Cecil.
Brewers will have VR, Sogard, and Pena coming up. Pena's having a great night. The Brewer catcher has 2 hits, a double, and a homer. Jonathan, as a right-handed batter, is hitting .297. Has 3 home runs. Half of his homers have come as a right-handed batter. Good splits this year for VR from either side of the plate. No balls and 2 strikes on VR.
Yeah, it's been a much improved Jonathan VR at the plate this year. Matter of fact, all the way around. Not taking as many chances, not making mistakes, defensively on the bases. He's been shortening up with 2 strikes. Much better player this year.
0-2 the count on VR. He walked his last time up, and a swing and a foul again. Got an update from the Brewers clubhouse on Lorenzo Cain. Right hamstring cramp.
Precautionary.
That's best case scenario. In that scenario, when a player grabs at his hamstring like he did after scoring on Shaw's double. I don't think he wants to be on camera. As soon as he saw Woody turn that camera towards him, he took off.
That's a shame because Woody's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't want to do that.
It's not Woody's fault.
I don't want to shun Woody.
Veteran savvy.
That red light can freak some out, huh? When it points at you.
A tally light.
Oh, is that what it's called?
It is red. Hi, Woody.
Red like the hat.
Woody is part-time cameraman, part-time security guard for Sophia and her throng of fans. See? She's well protected.
Wrong.
The yard takes a ball, and it is 3-2 now.
Looks like Sophia's protecting Woody. I mean, Sophia's in front.
That's probably true, too.
That can't be it.
Three and 2 the count. VR on the ground. Carpenter's got this one. And the throw is in time to get the out. VR is retired.
Hey, tonight's Tavern of the Game winner is Ixonia Fireman's Hall. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller Lite, now, did you or Sackman do Tavern of the Game?
Plesac did it. I wasn't going to touch the Tavern of the Game. That's kind of your territory.
I mean, and did you do all right?
He kind of bogeyed the first one. He called it the Miller Lite bullpen. And I made him read it again. But he totally redeemed himself by having multiple layers of research on the tavern of that particular night.
Really?
Oh yeah. He got the map out. He did a little homework. He found out who the mayor was. He sent him a text message. Yeah, it was a big one. It was a big night.
That's amazing. Good stuff.
He was on point. He's easily distracted, Plesac, by the way.
Is he? He wasn't like that as a player.
Is that right? He stayed on point?
When he was on the mound.
Well, I could see that.
Just don't ask him about pitching in Arlington Stadium in Texas. Did he talk about that at
I
all?
don't think so. Sogard takes a ball.
You know that I'm a country boy. You know John Denver. They used to play that
yeah,
around
thank
the
God
seventh
I'm a
inning.
country
You know,
boy. Yeah.
He was in the game. He said he would wake up in the middle of December in a cold sweat thinking about that. So he hated pitching there.
It was hot there. Sogard into right field. And Bader will put this one away.
I think it was more like the guys he had to face, like Pete Incaviglia and Julio Franco, and you know that group.
Juan Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Ruben Sierra.
Right. You know, those are the guys that I don't think it was so much the heat. It was the heat off the bat. I should have asked you to bring that up from time to time.
I wish you'd have sent off a few nuggets for me.
I would have
comebacks.
I didn't want him to, have any bad kind of feelings up there in the booth, but that's funny.
Manny Pena now. What a night he's having. 2 hits. He's got a double and a homer. 5th home run of the year back in the 4th inning. That led off the 3-run 4th. Brewers have scored in every inning with the exception of the 2nd. 2 in the 1st, courtesy of Aguilar. 2 in the 3rd. 3 in the 4th.
I'll tell you one thing about the sack man, though. He had a fastball and a slider that wouldn't quit. He had a nice long career.
Yeah, he still loves the Brewers and had a great time with him. It was a lot of fun. Glad he could do that.
Did you take him to Cherry Diner?
Oh, by the way, Cherry's Diner has moved.
I heard
we
that.
walked over there, but it was closed down for construction. That's our famous little breakfast spot.
Yeah.
And I used to say it's a great little hole in the wall, but I guess it was such a hole in the wall they tore it down.
There's literally a hole in the wall.
There's holes in all the walls right now.
The Brewers go back to Pittsburgh right before the All-Star break. 5 games in 4 days. Got a doubleheader on that Saturday.
4-game series scheduled, and you add one with the makeup. That's rare to see a 5-game series. Takes me back to my minor league days when we used to play 5- and 6-game series. I remember there was a stretch for a few years there. We would end the first half in the Texas League with a 6-game series against a team and start the second half with a 6-game series against the same team.
Oh my.
12 consecutive games against the same team. Manny Pena draws the walk. And his perfect night at the plate continues. That'll bring Suter to the plate.
And when I was in AAA in Vancouver, the PCL, we went over to Hawaii, to play the Padres, and that was a 6-game series over there. Now think about this, guys in their early 20s
going to Hawaii
for a week in Hawaii on $14 meal money.
Oh yes, those were the days. That was a much more calmer atmosphere to perform in the Texas League in the middle of the summer when it's 100, 110 degrees. Those 12 consecutive games against one team would get a little testy.
Yeah, I bet. That's a lot.
I'm sure they've changed that schedule now. I remember one minor league operator once said, all we have to do to save money is just buy all the visiting uniforms and dress the same players, have the same players as your road team, and just dress them in different uniforms and nobody would know.
Yeah. That's good for player development.
I think that actually came up at a meeting.
Yeah.
Two balls and a strike on Suter. 3-1 now. Cecil walked Pena. In danger of walking Brent Suter here down at the bottom of the order.
And Cecil not throwing very hard. 88 on the fastball.
He's got Thames due next. Brewers lead 7-2. Suter can hit. Has 4 hits this year, including a home run off Corey Kluber of the Indians right here at Miller Park. Pena will get a head start. 3-2 comes, and Suter lays off ball 4. He's got an idea at the plate. Cecil walked him. 2 men are on with 2 away. And the Brewers threatening once again with Thames coming up. Long night for that man, pitching coach Mike Maddox. Cecil retired the first 2 hitters, but back-to-back walks. Thames looking to do some damage here. Eric's hit 2 home runs since coming back from the DL. Those came in the same game last Sunday, his last game played at Miller Park.
That was an exciting finish against the Phillies.
It's the way the game goes, right? Scored 9 runs, come up a run short on a Sunday. The next day, lose a game 1-0.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Brewers had lost 3 straight before their win Tuesday. Still in first place. Broken bat. And that'll be caught by Munoz to end the inning. Brewers fail to score in the 5th. It's still 7-2 Milwaukee. 5 in the books. Cardinals are coming up in the 6th.
Brewers as we head to the 6th, and checking out tonight's UW-Whitewater minor league scouting report. We're checking in AAA and the Colorado Springs Sky Sox Jet Bandy option there after being designated for assignment over his last 6 games. He's really swinging a hot bat, a .450 average for him, 9 hits, 5 runs, 3 doubles, 2 homers in that stretch. And you see in his 12 games so far this season with AAA, .353 average for him, the 2 homers and the 5 ribbies. Again, that's coming in 12 games. And he most recently saw Zach Davies, who made a minor league rehab start with the Sky Sox on Tuesday. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits with a walk and 2 strikeouts. It was an inning and 2/3 of work for Zach Davies, and he is scheduled to go back. He'll make another start on Saturday, and then we'll make a 3rd start probably in Appleton next week. So Zach Davies staying on track. I spoke with him before today's game. He said he was really encouraged with how that shoulder held up and just kind of how he's bounced back. So good news for Zach Davies.
All right, good report, Sophia. Wade Miley also will be getting a minor league rehab start here shortly. Went out on that rehab yesterday from Pittsburgh. So the reinforcements are coming for the Brewers. In the meantime, those who have filled in are pitching some of the best baseball the Brewers have going right now, including Brent Suter and Junior Guerra.
Yeah, 2 guys coming back, and really, with Freddie Peralta in the starting rotation, who else do you take out? Interesting.
Good problem to have.
And nobody ever complained about too much pitching.
And no household names in that group, right, around baseball.
Right.
But a lot of guys that are getting it done. And you have to figure the ballpark effect too when you talk about the ERA of the Brewer starters. But to be 7th in the league among the starters, to have the 2nd, make it the 3rd best ERA among relievers, is impressive. Carpenter rolls over one. Barking on his way down the first base line as Suter retires him. Out number 1. Brent Suter, 7 innings his last time out. At the most consecutive starts with 5 or more innings. He's up there on a list with Baumgartner, Hendricks, Patrick Corbin. And Suter, it was almost an exact 5 innings to get to that point until his last start when he went 7.
Look at the difference between Hendricks and Baumgartner, though. I mean, what, 23 and what was it, 80 something?
I think the most impressive thing about Suter is that he operated in a little bit of a unknown role each week, each trip through the rotation. So he'd be in the bullpen, he'd make a start kind of in a spot starting role, then he might go in long relief, then he might go to the minor leagues. This is his career leading up to what he's been this year. But he's been with the big league club all year and has been in the rotation and just continues to force Craig Counsell and Derek Johnson to keep him in there because he's pitching so well. Ground ball to Shaw, and the long throw right on the money.
Yeah, as usual, very rarely does he make a bad throw. Right over the top. Doesn't really drop his arm a whole lot when he knows he has some time. Takes a crow hop and right on the money. A first baseman's dream.
Shaw, being a first baseman himself, understands the importance of a nice easy throw. 2 outs for Suter. Here is Jose Martinez. Big league scoreboard looks good tonight for the Brewers at this point. Reds have a 6-2 lead over the Cubs in Cincinnati. Brewers are tied with the Cubs in the division right now. 0-2 the count on Martinez. Diamondbacks up big on the Pirates, 8-3 in Pittsburgh. They're in the 9th there.
They're playing a lot better than the last time the Brewers saw them.
Diamondbacks put 8 runs on the board against Chad Kuhl, last night's scheduled starter. He and Suter were to match up last night. 8 runs in 2 innings off Chad Kuhl for the Diamondbacks. Kuhl did something last night, Rock, I've never seen. It was, they didn't bang the game, call the game until around 9 o'clock, so 2 hours after first pitch. Right. He never left the bullpen.
He was sitting out there.
He went out there to warm up for a 7:05 start and never left. Sat out there for 2 hours in the rain. Low throw. Hey, what a pick by Aguilar to end the inning. Wow. Big man's got some hands, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's something.
Jesus Aguilar saving an error from Sogard. What a play that was. Nicely done. And some footwork.
6-2 lead for the Brewers over the Cardinals. And our showstopper in baseball this evening, and Nolan Arenado in a 6-4 win against the Mets. Arenado drove in 5 of the runs for the Rockies on the night. In the first inning, it was a 3-run home run off of Steven Matz that gave them an early 3-1 lead, and his 3rd straight game with a home run for Arenado, and then did it again in the 2nd inning with a 2-run double. So 5 RBIs on the night for Nolan, and again, that was a 6-4 win for the Rockies.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Arenado, it's trending toward an MVP. He's got one in his future, you would think.
And that, you know, every year for him, I mean, you know, the way he puts together, you know, RBI seasons offensively. You know, John Gant just got called up today, 2nd time he's been with the Cardinals. Yeah, last pitch, he was starting down in the minor leagues. Last pitch at Albuquerque AAA, 6 innings, 1 run.
Facing Christian Yelich to start the inning. 7-2 Brewers on 8 hits tonight. Brewers have actually stranded 6. They've had a ton of traffic on the base paths. Manny Pena with a home run for Milwaukee. Travis Shaw's driven in 2. Jesus Aguilar drove in 2 with a double. Lorenzo Cain with a couple of hits and an RBI. He left the game with cramping in the hamstring. Pena continues to swing the bat well against the Cardinals. Cain just a spectator the rest of the night.
I'm not going anywhere. That's what you love about Cain. One of many things that you like about, you know, the way he goes about his business. You know, a lot of guys, they get taken out of the game. You know, you get some ice on the hamstring and you go up in the clubhouse and just kind of hang out. Sits in the dugout with his teammates rooting him on.
See, he thinks he's hiding from Woody right there on that post. Woody's hiding from him. I'm sure Woody will lean over at some point and say, hey, you know, we got a bunch of other cameras. Yelich, did he go? He did. Rung up by the home plate umpire McClinsky. And that'll be out number 1 for Gant.
Yeah, his discussion is, you know, I'd rather you ask for help on that. It was pretty close. But he probably went. Not much of an argument. Yeah, he did.
Crew chief Mike Winters says, I was ready for you.
He said, I'd have rung you up. Don't worry about it.
Domingo Santana batting for the first time. Entered the game last inning for Cain.
Been the odd man out in that rotation in the outfield, especially now that Fames is involved in that.
Tough to break into the lineup in the big leagues after a 30 homer season. Santana hasn't been able to find the regular playing time. Cardinals have right-handers in every game in this series, so it'll be heavy Thames as Santana strikes out. 2 outs in the inning on K's.
Hey, jumpstart your weekend with some Friday night festivities at Miller Park. Every Friday home game, including tomorrow against the Cardinals. Fans 21 and over who sit in the Miller Lite beer pen will take home a free Brewers t-shirt courtesy of Miller Lite. For tickets, go to brewers.com. T-shirt. The Miller Lite beer pen.
Here's Travis Shaw on a wave and a miss.
Pretty good pitch here, changeup. Yeah, good numbers down in the minor leagues. 5-1, 165 earned run average.
Shaw rolls over one. Nice play at second base by Jerko, and that will retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. Best inning of the night for Cardinal pitchers. 7-2 Brewers as we go to the 7th. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Been a good night all the way around for the Brew Crew. They lead it 7-2. We go to the 7th inning. First of a 4-game series with the Cardinals. Brewers looking for a little separation with St. Louis. 4.5 game lead starting play tonight over the Cardinals. Cardinals are in 3rd place. And what feels like a disaster of a year in St. Louis, and yet they're still right there in the picture. They're just 4.5 back and 4 games over 500. So it hasn't quite been as dramatic as most would feel. But the question is, can this Cardinal team get it turned around? They've had a ton of injuries. You know, they lost Alex Reyes, who pitched against the Brewers. They were really high on that kid and hoping he would give them a nice shot. The Young's been out. Michael Walker's going on the DL now as Ozuna just flails away and down he goes on strikes.
Well, Ozuna's upset about something. Not sure what it is. Ozuna's having a tough time against Suter, but after the swing and miss, he had a discussion with the home plate umpire.
Strikeout number 5 for Suter. Might have been after one of those early strike calls.
Now his changeup right here. Didn't like that. Yeah, he's pointing at him.
He had a beef. But Suter's been around the strike zone all night. That happens. Yadier Molina, little half swing. He goes 1-1 the count.
That's what I was talking about. You know, we came on the air talking about Brent Suter and how he's progressed. I mean, you know, right now he's in his, you know, we're pitching into the 7th inning once again. And he's starting to figure it out. He's starting to figure out how to get through the game, how to pitch deep into games. And I think that, you know, the changeup's been a big part of what he's been able to accomplish as of late. You know, changeup, curveball. He still keeps that fastball up in the strike zone, but you know, he pitched 7 strong innings against the Phillies his last time out. And here he is in the 7th inning again.
Comfortably pitching in the 7th inning. He's given up the 2 runs. And he misses to Molina, walks him. So a 1-out walk, and the Cardinals with a base runner in the 7th. Well, fans, don't forget you can follow all the games on the mobile device, on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go if you can't watch them on television. Download the app, take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Roof is closed on a cool night in June. 60-degree night in June here in Milwaukee. First ball swinging Jerko. And a fly ball to right for out number 2. Jerko's 0 for 3.
Oh, you love those 1-pitch outs.
Suter, the Cincinnati native, Moeller High School in Cincinnati. A high school home to some of the greats. A couple of Hall of Famers. Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Larkin went to Moeller High School in Cincinnati. Renowned athletic program there. How about this? 2 pitches, 2 outs to end the inning after the walk. Jerko and Bader bite early. 7 strong tonight from Suter, and it's still 7-2. Brewers have the lead over the Cardinals, division rivals matching up. First game of this 4-game series. Let's give you some of the scoring here tonight. Badger Mutual Insurance runs of the game. Aguilar started it, bottom of the first. Ozuna went up on the wall and actually hit on the base of the wall. Crazy scenario and a crazy attempt by the left fielder of the Cardinals. That scored a pair, though, and the Brewers answered a Carpenter home run in the top of the first with 2 in the bottom half. And it's been all Brewer since. 7 runs on 8 hits. Aguilar and Shaw with 2 RBIs apiece. Jesus will lead off this bottom of the 7th against Gant. Bullpen is quiet for now for Craig Counsell. That would tell you Brent Suter's going back out. He's been terrific through 7, giving up the 2 runs, gobbling up some innings. Jesus on the Powerball home run leaderboard. He and Travis Shaw tied with 14. Aguilar making a bid at number 15 in that first inning.
On a ball that initially I thought was a routine fly to left field. He just kept going.
Maybe the home run reputation sent Ozuna scurrying up the wall.
Just some guys, you know, they hit those fly balls and they're just so strong. You have such backspin on it. Just keep going further and further.
1-2 the count.
Remember those home runs that Corey Hart used to hit?
Yeah.
Those high, majestic. They just seem to be pop-ups, and all of a sudden, you know, they're out of the ballpark.
Yeah, he could hit the highest home runs. Corey Hart. There's a bouncing ball with the shift on, and that's Aguilar right there.
2 strikes.
Shortens up with 2 strikes, punches one for a base knock, and he is 2 out of 4 tonight.
One of the best 2-strike hitters in the National League. He came into the play today, the 3rd best batting average with 2 strikes in the National League. He was over 270 with 2 strikes. 8 of his 14 home runs have come with 2 strikes. And we talked about him on Brewers Live pregame today. That approach, Darnell Coles was talking about that. Just understands himself. He realizes he doesn't have to overswing. And one of the few guys, you know, in baseball that you can actually see make a concerted effort to shorten up and just try to make contact.
Love it. I'll tell you what, watching it year in and year out, that will play well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If the Brewers can make it to the postseason, that is a valuable asset to have. VR on the ground gets right through Jerko. And the Cardinals' defensive woes continue. That was a double play ball. Certainly would have had the lead out at second. Instead, everybody's safe on the E4.
Yeah, 3rd error for the Cardinals. And how many other misplays have they had? Well, the glove goes up, ball stays down. E4, and yet another miscue by St. Louis.
Yikes.
On what should have been a double play. It's now 60 errors.
Wow. 3 errors tonight, and probably 3 other plays that you would say should have been made. Jerko's committed his 6th error. He's the most sure-handed of the bunch out there, former shortstop. Eric Sogard will bat with 2 on and nobody out. 0 for 3 tonight. Got the start at shortstop tonight. Another one in the air. Back on it is Pham. And Aguilar will stay put. Sogard retired. Just can't get going offensively, Eric Sogard.
Well, you know, he's popping everything in the air. I mean, last year it was line drives. He shot the ball into left field. Those little flares into left on a pitch away. You know, ground balls up the middle. This year they're all up in the air. He doesn't have the power to be able to get away with that.
Here comes Manny Pena. Pena hitting 8 tonight. So normally Arcia hits 8th when he's in the lineup. Sogard started at short, so Counsell flipping up that lineup a little bit, and he pulled the right card with Manny Pena tonight, batting in front of the pitcher. He's been on 3 times. Had a double in the 2nd inning, hit a hard hit ball to left center, and then this one launched in the 4th.
Big cutter on a 3-1 count. Right down the middle.
Hit the facing of the Club Goodwill sign in deep left center. That ball was tagged.
See, Manny, on the other hand, unlike Lorenzo, Manny likes the camera.
Camera friendly.
Big fan of the camera.
He's been a terrific find for the Brewers, Manny Pena. After bouncing around often in his career, really not finding a home. Could never secure that big league job, and his goal was starting to top out as a big league backup. That was the best he was hoping for, and that all changed here in Milwaukee. He spent some years in AAA with the Brewers. Brewers got him from the Tigers. He was part of that trade with Francisco Rodriguez. Pena came up with the Rangers, or actually started his minor league career with the Texas Rangers. And then he came to the big leagues for the first time with the Royals. And thought he had a real shot there in Kansas City, but that was right about the time that Salvador Perez began to emerge. And Manny Pena bounced from Kansas City to Seattle to Detroit, and then ultimately with the Brewers 2 years ago. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 on. High fly ball, a roof scraper. And Ozuna will make the call and the catch for the out. 2nd out of the inning.
And I don't think the Brewers really knew what actually they had in Manny Pena, both defensively. I think they always knew that he was a pretty good defensive catcher. That's it for Brent Suter. What a night for him. Another terrific pitching performance. 2 runs, 7 innings. After his last start, 7 innings and 1 run.
Terrific night. A walk, 5 strikeouts for Suter. He was begging for that at bat right there. Counsell knowing he needs to keep his regulars with regular at bats. He's going to go to Hernan Perez to pinch hit. Fantastic effort by Suter again tonight. All year long he had been going 5, 5 1/3, 5 2/3. Last 2 starts he goes 7.
Yeah. Starting to figure it out. Starting pitching, not easy at this level. Good hitters.
Hernan Perez off the bench.
And I would imagine throughout his entire baseball life, he's been told you can't pitch up in his zone.
Yep. Yeah, he said as much.
Until he ran into Derek Johnson.
Two on, 2 away. Perez a chopper, going to be a tough play. Perez runs well. Carpenter no chance. Everybody safe. Infield hit for Hernan Perez. And the bases are loaded in this 7th inning.
Yeah, no chance for Carpenter. Once it got over the pitcher's head, it was going to be trouble. Carpenter just doesn't have enough throwing arm to be able to make that play, even if he didn't bobble it. Looked like he bobbled it. Aguilar almost got in his way.
You know, strange. I think Carpenter was making the play for interference there, and Mike Matheny is going to find out, but you could clearly see Carpenter, knowing that's going to be a hit, changing his route to try to make contact with Aguilar.
Yeah, runner has to avoid the fielder. Got to give him an opportunity to field the baseball. You're out.
But it doesn't mean a fielder can go off his line either.
Right.
That's a judgment call by the umpire, and I don't blame Carpenter for trying. That's heads up.
Veteran. Might work.
So they are all loaded up. And here comes Eric Thames. High drive, center field, got a chance, and it is off the glove of Pham. Aguilar, VR, Perez all score, and it's a triple for Thames. 10-2 Milwaukee.
Just missed it. Just missed the salami.
First triple of the year for Eric Thames, and it drives in 3 more.
Yeah, not sure if that would have been out of the ballpark. It would have been close. There's your insurance runs, partner. That's that off-speed pitch from Gann. He's been pitching pretty well until the error. All these runs are unearned. Now he might have kept one in the ballpark. Pretty good play by Pham. Wasn't able to hold on to it, but it wasn't a homer.
Let's see how close it was. Yeah, I think that would have gone out.
And might have
hit the top of the wall. Pham brought it back, couldn't hold the catch, and it's a 3 RBI triple for Eric Thames. 2 hits tonight for Thames. He's got 20 RBIs now, and he missed 41 games this season.
Yeah. Good to have him back in that lineup.
2-0 on Yelich.
How about the errors tonight? I mean, we've been talking about it. You know, you hate to keep talking about it, but I mean, it's unbelievable.
Now these are all unearned runs against Gann. The error by Jerko.
10 runs, 5 earned runs tonight. And a misplay.
The current Cardinal infield, Martinez, Jerko, Munoz, and Carpenter, combined for 28 errors this year already. Chopper out to second base. Jerko throws low, and it's another error. A run is in to make it 11-2. And the St. Louis Cardinals look more like the bad news Bears here tonight.
Right, just terrible. It's got to be just eating away at Mike Matheny. Another unearned run.
Second error of the inning for Jerko.
And a relatively routine play. The problem for Jerko is he's flat-footed. And Martinez is not doing a very good job to pick it. I mean, if you stretch a little bit more, you get that before it hits the ground, but still a terrible throw.
Two outs. Santana back up there, his second at bat.
Hey, take a couple of crow hops, or maybe just one crow hop for Jerko, and it's a pretty good throw. I mean, flat-footed becomes a much more difficult throw for you, even from second base. Just a little nonchalant, basically.
Well, you hate to say it because Mike Matheny's had a lot of success in St. Louis. That's kind of play that gets managers fired.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that seat is getting hotter for Mike Matheny. Knew nothing but postseason baseball in his first 4 years as the skipper. Brought in Mike Maddox, new pitching coach. Maddening for a manager to watch his team play like this, I'm sure.
He looks calm, but you know he's just the opposite.
Little half swing roller. Gant over gloves it and makes the tag, says I'll handle it myself. 4-run score, all of them unearned. The big blast. Eric Thames, almost a grand slam. Thames drives in 3 with his first triple of the year. 11-2 Brewers. They are rolling tonight against their division rival. (11-2) now Milwaukee as they lead it big over the Cardinals, going to the 8th inning. Into the line for Brent Suter. And how about the first Brewer starting pitcher to pitch back-to-back 7-inning games this season?
Yeah, after the first pitch that he threw tonight ended up out of the ballpark. Matt Carpenter home run. He allowed only 1 other hit, couple of walks, or I should say 1 walk, a hit batter, and 5 punch-outs. And you know, again, he's just starting to. Now he's understanding what it takes to get through games. You know, early in the season, Greg Counsell would not let him, pitch 3rd time through the batting order. He was out. That was pretty much it. That's all changed now. His success has been very good his last 7 starts as Taylor Williams takes over for the 25th time this year. So you go from a guy that throws, tops out at about 87, 88. To a guy that throws a slider faster than that.
Yeah, Williams has that big fastball. Hernan Perez, who pinch hit last inning, had an infield hit, will stay in the game. He plays left field. So Thames is out. Good night for Eric Thames. 2 for 5 at the plate, scored 2 runs, drove in 3. Kane is out. Those were 2 of the original outfielders in the lineup. So what was on the original lineup card as Thames, Kane, and Yelich, left, center to right, is now Perez, Yelich, and Santana. Jairo Munoz had an RBI double in the 5th inning off Suter, plating the 2nd run. Williams misses up and in. Munoz down on his back.
It is a little bit too close for comfort here. Fastball up and in, and Munoz able to get out of the way, thank goodness. Him trying to collect himself.
Three balls and a strike. And a line drive to right, base hit. Munoz with a couple of hits. He's got that opposite field stroke going.
It's a good answer to a pitch up and in. Hey, add 2 more players to your Brewers bobblehead lineup this Sunday when all fans of the Brewers series finale against the Cardinals will take home an Arcia Braun Gauntlet double bobblehead courtesy of Blue Jay Solutions. Secure your seats at brewers.com. That was what they call a run-on sentence.
You handled it beautifully. You put your own pauses in there, Rock. Well done. I was having to do all your promos while you were away on your little sabbatical there, hanging out on the canoe without a paddle.
Yeah, Sackman didn't do any?
No, he did one.
Yeah, tavern.
Did the tavern. That's it. It's completely filled with anxiety about doing that just one also.
Did you like doing them?
No. No, I much prefer when you do them.
I like doing them.
I like to marvel at the way you weave yourself through those promotions. There's a line shot to right, base hit for Greg Garcia, pinch hitting. And suddenly Taylor Williams in some trouble here in this 8th inning, and now Derek Johnson is on his way out.
And more hitting speed for the Cardinals, right? I mean, Suter was up in his zone at 87. And Williams mid-90s, and you know, this is what guys are accustomed to these days. And first two hitters have been able to barrel him up.
Williams has done a good job for the Brewers, up and down between the majors and the minors. Start of the year looked like he might have made the ball club out of spring training, but the way it was lining up, the Brewers not needing a 5th starter, he was kind of the odd man out, so went to AAA, and then
he got called up on April 8th.
He wasn't down there long, was he?
No, week. A little over a week.
Not sure what Craig Counsell is questioning here. Maybe just positioning his infielders a bit. So 2 on, Matt Carpenter coming up. Brewers just got 4 runs in the 7th inning to make it 11-2. Counsell has a good group out there in the bullpen. He's got his A relievers, the guys he'll use in a lead or maybe in a tie game. Hader, Jeffress, Knebel. That's kind of the winning formula. And then you got the swing guys like Dan Jennings, who would come into various roles depending on matchups and whatnot. Jennings being the left-hander. And then you've got Williams and Jacob Barnes, who typically get the nod to finish games when there is a lead like this, when it's a non-save situation.
You got Hauser out in the bullpen.
Hauser, the long man, can give you multiple innings. But you need that mix and that balance, and you need everybody to do their jobs, because what you don't want to have to do tonight, if you're Craig Counsell, is go to one of your main relievers. And Williams and Barnes have been terrific getting outs, taking care of business when you have a 4 or 5 run lead. In this example, and a 9-run lead. That all adds up, though, when you play one game to the next.
Yeah, well, he gave up a couple of runs this last time out against the Phillies. And before that, had not allowed a run in 9 straight.
3-0 is the count. Carpenter takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded. This one not starting well for Taylor Williams. 2 hits and a walk, and they are loaded up for Tommy Pham. There's a strike with the slider. That's what he needed. See if that'll get him back on track.
A lot of times that breaking ball will do the trick. Have a tendency to finish your delivery a little bit more when you're throwing a breaking pitch. And maybe it'll get him to finish off this fastball.
Taylor had a long, hard road to the big leagues. He finally made it last year. Pitched in 5 major league games last season after missing 2 years with Tommy John surgery. Tried to avoid Tommy John, so he went through almost a full season just trying to rehab the elbow, strengthen the elbow, doing all he could to avoid the knife. Didn't work, and then had to have surgery. It's a lot of what Shohei Ohtani is going through right now, trying to determine if he can get through it, pitch through it, or if he will require surgery. And that's tough to ask a pitcher to immediately go into surgery, but in hindsight would have given Williams a year back in his career. But he says his arm is healthy now and never felt better. He learned a lot in isolation while he was rehabbing.
Yeah, you're all on your own during those times. Just like he feels like he is now, all alone, not being able to find home plate.
3 balls, 1 strike to count. Bullpen is empty. Bases loaded. And it goes to 3-2. His strikeout numbers are impressive this year. That's one thing you like about Taylor Williams. He is striking out 12.5 batters per 9 innings this year. The walk ratio is a little high. It's nearly 5 walks per 9. Three-two pitch. Got him. Struck him out. Got him with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. The first out of the inning.
Yeah, a little up and in, but that big fastball. Yeah, mid-90s. Throws it right by Pham. He was down in the count. 3-1. Got 2 fastballs by him. 97 that time.
Pham can hit the fastball too. He's a good fastball hitter, high velocity hitter. Not that time. Jose Martinez now with 1 away. Now Williams looking for a ground ball. Clean it all up. Not a big guy, only about 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", 170 pounds. He generates a lot of velocity with that frame.
Yeah, a lot of torque. Everything working in conjunction. Just bringing it. Down in the zone. Those are the ones, 96. You can get to those down around the knees.
Wow, nasty. Big slider. 1-2 the count now on Martinez.
Had plenty of the play with the speed.
Almost like that where it starts, it's coming right at your hip. Stuns that hitter. Defensive swing by Martinez. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bases loaded, full of Cardinals. Williams deals and a ground ball foul.
See, when you're geared up for 97 miles an hour and he throws that slider over, you get swings like the one he had on the one before the slider.
Yeah, even if there's contact, doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to carry out if it's in the air.
Yeah, because you have to start the bat a little bit sooner than you would like. You're not able to wait back as long as you'd like. Most guys. The great hitters can do it. So you go up and in. Maybe he's thinking about that slider. Maybe leaning out over the plate. You straighten him up. Where do you go now?
You're waiting for the pain.
Now you try and catch that slider on the outer half and you get him. Maybe he's thinking the same way though, Martinez. He went up and in on me. I'm going to go look slider. Looks like that's what they're throwing.
2-2 is a fastball. Chance for a double play. 4-6-3. And Williams gets out of his own mess. 2 hits and a walk to load him up. A strikeout and a double play to get him out of it. The pitcher's best friend right there, folks. 11-2 Brew Crew. We head to the bottom of the 8th.
Up the bottom of the 8th for Milwaukee. He's got an RBI in an 11-2 Milwaukee lead right now. Brewers offense clicking against St. Louis pitching and poor defense as well. We'll talk about it all when Rock joins me on the post-game show. Sophia's got post-game interviews as well. We'll catch up with Craig Counsell and get you set for game 2 of this long 4-game series over the weekend against the St. Louis Cardinals. All coming up next on Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. So Greg Garcia set to take the mound now for the Cardinals against Craig Counsell's Brewers here in the 8th inning. And guys, just looking at those 4 errors the Cardinals have committed, some poor pitching as well. This almost dates back to pre-poor St. Louis Cardinal play, maybe in the mid-90s before Tony La Russa took over. We're just not used to seeing this.
That is the truth, and it's been a long year for Matheny, and you got to give them a little slack too, because they have suffered a ton of injuries. Greg mentioned Greg Garcia is on the mound. Rock, his first career pitching appearance. Matheny does not want to use any more relievers in this game.
Yeah, and the second time that the Brewers have faced a position player. Remember against the Phillies, Valentin had an inning on the mound in a Brewers big win.
That was a 59-mile-an-hour fastball, the first one he threw. Wouldn't win you a snow cone in the speed pitch, and they've got 4 infielders on the right side.
Well, they know he's not going to bunt.
What in the world is happening? He should bunt. He's trying to hit one of the opposite field. 2-2 the count now. Extreme shifting. Look at Shaw. Slaps one the opposite way. It's a base hit.
Yeah, you can't bunt with a big lead like this. I mean, that is a major no-no. You've got a 9-run lead in the 8th inning. You don't bunt. You don't swing 3-0. And you don't steal bases. Those are the 2 things that you don't do when you have a big lead late in the game. Of course, those used to be the unwritten rules, but you can do that. You can slap one down the line.
Nobody in the frame.
Yeah.
It's like Satchel Paige was pitching and he sent everybody in. Shaw with his second hit. 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs tonight for Shaw.
Ed Cedar throws harder than this.
Got a chance to turn a double play here, and the Cardinals do turn a double play. 5-4-3. Aguilar's probably going to hear a little bit about that. Probably not tonight, but maybe tomorrow.
Out tonight with a 11-2 lead. He's got a homer. Or actually, he's got.
Who's he looking at?
Yeah, he's got a double and a single. So he's okay. You just don't want to punch out. You don't want to strike out against a position player. I told you the Rob Deere story, didn't I?
I think you got time to squeeze it in here. What is it?
It was 20-9, I think. It was 20-9. The Angels were beating us at County Stadium, and Donnie Hill came up to pit. Actually, I was with the Angels. I'm sorry. We had Donnie Hill come in to pitch, and Rob Deere came up, and he had already struck out a few times. He said, "Rock, if this guy strikes me out, I'm going to die." 3 pitches, he struck him out.
You're catching?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm catching for the Angels.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I had the story a little mixed up in the beginning.
Fly ball into center field, right field, I should say, and Hader makes the catch. So that is a scoreless inning for Greg Garcia. And Rob Deere's glad you had just enough time to sneak that story in.
Take that.
Cardinals ready for this one to end. The Brewers have an 11-2 lead as we go to the 9th inning. And Dan Jennings is coming out of the Milwaukee bullpen to try to finish it off. 3 outs away from winning the first of this 4-game series. The Cubs already lost tonight. They lost to the Reds. So the Brewers could go up a full game in the National League Central with 3 more outs.
Yeah, Craig Counsell hoping that Jennings finds something. Over his last 10 outings, he's given up some runs. 8 runs in those 10 appearances. Gave up a run against the Pirates on Tuesday in 2/3 of an inning. Overall, pretty good numbers for Jennings. A .344 earned run average. Trying to finish this one out.
Marcelo Zuna will lead off for St. Louis. He's had a tough night, 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. Brent Suter went 7 innings. 3 outs away from a win for Suter tonight, which would be his 8th. Would go to 8-4. Only 2 National League pitchers have more wins than Brent Suter. Max Scherzer and John Lester.
That's something.
Ozuna pops this one foul territory. Coming back for Pena. There is out number 1.
And with a win tonight, he's going to have won 6 of his last 7.
Miller Lite, what's on tap? We'll do it again tomorrow night. Back on the air at 6:30. Junior Guerra will pitch for the Brewers against Jack Flaherty. First pitch just after the 7 o'clock hour tomorrow night. That'll be game 2. Day game on on Saturday, 3 o'clock start, and then Sunday is a 1 o'clock start. So day game Saturday and Sunday. Hope you'll make plans to be with us. A couple things we want to remind you about that will occur on Saturday. The proceeds from the Brewers Community Foundation 50/50 raffle on Saturday will go towards Davy Nelson's charity, Open Arms, a charity that he has been involved with for years in South Africa. Our late colleague, Davy Nelson, one of the reasons you see the patch being worn tonight, Nelly. That's the logo for the Open Arms Foundation. And so that'll be a big donation playing the 50/50 raffle. So if you're planning on attending the game Saturday, make sure you purchase your raffle tickets and participate in that game. That 50/50 game they have. OpenArmsHome.com is the website if you'd like to make a contribution. They're also going to be selling lapel pins Saturday night. For $10 you get a pin, and that turns into a donation as well. Broken bat. Bouncing ball to VR, and there is the second out. We got the bobblehead, the Arcia Braun Gauntlet bobblehead on Sunday afternoon.
Always big reasons to come to the ballpark, to say nothing about, quality baseball just about every night. Brewers playing good. First place. But a good reason to come out this weekend. The tribute to Davy Nelson, our buddy. Miss him.
Going to have a special feature after the game on Saturday. Spotlight Remembering Davy Nelson, a production of Fox Sports Wisconsin. Hope you'll enjoy that. Pride night tonight at the ballpark. Big success. Big crowd. Brewers winning 11-2. Trying to start this homestand with a bang, as they did.
Just keep playing good baseball. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Just take care of your own house here.
Starts a long stretch of games here for the Brewers. They do have a day off on Monday. After that, there will be 21 games in 20 days. So one more game than days because of that double header before the All-Star break. They're on their feet. 1-2 pitch in the air, right field, slicing. Santana can't get there. Jerko is on with an extra base hit. He'll settle for a double. And the conclusion of this one, not quite there yet.
And right off the end of the bat, and Jerko able to just get it out of the reach of Santana. Good effort out in right field. Not sure if he got a glove on it or not, but that's slicing away from him. No, he didn't. Ball hit in the glove after it hit the ground.
Jennings with a little quick release there, trying to catch Jerko by surprise. We saw him do that in Pittsburgh. Doesn't take the full leg kick like that. He deals a strike to Bader. On the road trip, Boone Logan was designated for assignment. So Jennings is one of the 2 lefties now. He and Hader are the 2 left-handers.
And Brewers now with 7 relievers in the bullpen. They've had 8 for most of the season.
Ball and a strike on Harrison Bader. Chopper, got to hurry. This guy runs well. Sogard, no chance. 1st and 3rd. Coming with 2 outs. Much different circumstances, but Jennings got the first 2 out in his outing in Pittsburgh. And then couldn't get the final out. That was on Tuesday.
Nothing hit all that hard. The 2 hits, no Jerko's, was right off the end of the bat down the right field line. That was a little nubber, a little high chopper, so you really can't fault, Jennings for these 2 hits.
Jennings had a win against the Cardinals earlier this year. He got off to a great start this season. A little bit of a find for the Brewers. Signed him after opening day from the Rays. Had a 1.93 ERA his first 24 games this year. Struggled a bit since, but he pitched well enough where the Brewers were comfortable making a roster move. They had to make a decision on one of the lefties, Jennings or Boone Logan, and it was Logan who was designated for assignment. Again, they're on their feet. 2 strikes to count on Munoz, and a line drive base hit. 3 straight hits for the Cardinals, and another run is in. It's 11-3 now.
And left that slider up out over the plate, and Munoz looking for it. A steady diet of sliders, the 3rd one here. Out over the plate, good swing, a line drive into center. Cardinals still with a pulse.
3 2-out hits. Munoz has driven in 2. That was his 3rd hit of the game. And that'll bring up Greg Garcia, the current Cardinal pitcher, who pitched a scoreless 8th inning. Making his first ever pitching appearance as a professional, minor league or major league. This should do it. Sogard. Low throw, dug out by Aguilar, and the ball game is over, and the Brewers win it tonight. 11-3 the final score. Brent Suter the winner, 8-4 the record. Carlos Martinez takes the loss. He is 3-4 now. Good night all around for the Brewers, and they win the opener and have a full game lead on the Chicago Cubs in the National League Central. Time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Cashon, standing by down the right field line in what will be known as Nelly's Corner from here on out.
Can't wait for that for sure. Brian, thanks. And the Brewers a big win here tonight. This guy, Jesus Aguilar, had a lot to do with that. Boy, he's had a big week for Milwaukee so far. We'll talk starting pitching here from Craig Counsell, post-game reaction, all coming up next on Brewers Live.